Hello listeners, it's me, Bald Dumbo voice of Derpy and head director of Dr. Hooves and Assistant. Recently I asked all of you to fill out an appreciation survey for the series. I asked some questions that could be mapped out in a pie chart, asking people to list their favorites. These questions were favorite character, favorite villain, favorite episode, least favorite short, favorite musical number, and lastly, and most importantly, favorite ship. And since I know Derpy shippers can get quite heated, I do ask that there's no fighting over ships in the comments. Everyone is free to like their own ship, and their enjoyment of that ship shouldn't be affected by your enjoyment of yours. Anyways, I want to show everyone the results on these questions while discussing my opinions on the results and sharing a few things about the production process and what my personal favorites are. First up, we have favorite character with a pleasantly surprising result. TikTok came out on top as the fan favorite, and I couldn't be more pleased. When Pegasus, Brill, and I created TikTok together, we wanted to make a character that complemented the dynamic of the Doctor and Derpy, and most importantly, we wanted him to be a character that people would like. We were worried that people would be too critical of him being an original character and wouldn't give him a chance to mosey in on the popular Derpy and Doctor pair that everyone was so used to. So to see him not only being accepted, but being favored over the two first main characters who are based on existing well-loved characters, it's just one of the best feelings in the world, and we're so glad that people have grown to love him as much as they do. I'm also excited that the companions are more liked than the Doctor himself, which seems like quite a feat. Of course, we have those who couldn't possibly choose between the three, and that's fair too. Other favorites people mentioned included Jot and Pistol, which again is fantastic seeing as their original characters as well. Next we have favorite villain, with Terror taking the top in a well-deserved place. Terror is definitely my favorite villain that I've ever made, and like TikTok's voice actor Pegasus Brill helped come up with the horrifying ancient horror. Terror was unique and fun to write because they are both one character and 7 characters at the same time, with each of the heads having their own goals, desires, and mannerisms based on their sin. I can also safely say you haven't seen the last of Terror. Coming in almost at a tie with Terror is the Jabberwock from Wrong Way Backwards. The dimension-eating monster caused 2 universes to collide. The Jabberwock was a collaboration between Squeak Anon and I. People may be wondering what happened to Squeak Anon, and I honestly can't say I'm sure. Though I do know they were still online last time I got any sort of update. However, it seems like they've gone incognito for whatever reason, and I just hope they'll be okay. On with the pie chart. Nightmare Moon comes in 3rd, which I'm glad about since she's the most recently aired villain, meaning to some people I've outdone myself. One that I found very interesting was that 5 people said Pistol the Finch Griffin was their favorite villain, which surprised me at first, but when I really thought about it, I could see where people were coming from. I mean, it's not exactly villainy by choice, and that's what makes him so compelling to people. There were some villains who were never mentioned, making them lower than even the Smooths. These include the Fralorn, the Iceworm in Episode 4, and Regal Script, the Royal Advisor from Episode 5, which is fair, they weren't exactly in-depth or iconic in any way. Next is favorite episode. We have similar results to the villain in that our top 2 are the very same episodes the top 2 favorite villains came from, and they are definitely the episodes I'm most proud of, and that were the most work. I have no idea how we managed to throw together Wrong Way Backwards. Those were mystical times when everyone had this rare thing called free time and motivation. Episode 8, Outpost on the Fringe, and Terror had the most background voice work and had a grand 3-part musical number. I don't think we'll ever top it, to be honest. Not because we don't want to, but because even producing a simple episode now is really difficult, so there's no way we could do something on that scale again. Still, I do hope that I can make an episode that people will love even more than Terror, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm also glad Call Upon the Doctor and the Isle of Fleputa were the runner-ups. I think the writers did a fantastic job bringing my concepts to life, going above and beyond my expectations. Maravex from Dr. Hooves the Great wrote most of the Call Upon the Doctor, while Dream of Serenity and Pegasus Brill wrote the Isle of Fleputa. I couldn't be happier with the people I chose to take charge of the scripts. They surprised me even with some of the plot twists that they came up with. I noticed every episode we've made so far is listed in someone's favorite, except for Frostbite. And I can understand why. It's short, it's simple, it doesn't do anything too spectacular. You know, one of the awkward earlier episodes that we were still figuring out how we wanted to do episodes, and at the time we were just doing a lot of improv to a basic storyline. We didn't use a script until episode 5, which was the episode after Frostbite. This next category is least favorite episode, but before I go over the stats, I want to explain that most of the answers I got were people saying that they didn't really have a least favorite episode, or people saying that the episodes weren't bad, but they were just the weakest, poorest quality, or saddest, or most confusing. A bit unexpected was the first episode, so understandably it's not going to be the best. Even with the remake, it doesn't really do a proper adventure, and it's there to introduce the characters and establish the main storyline. Apples and Arguments was probably the only one that was actually disliked, mainly for the arguing and high-pitched baby voices, and that's understandable too. I always felt that the argument scene goes on way too long, like, seriously. We were improving it, and we just kind of kept going with it. We were having fun, but weren't factoring in the fact that, oh yeah, people are gonna be listening to this for like 5 minutes straight. Oops. Frostbite was the weakest episode, which makes sense seeing as it made no impact whatsoever in the favorite episode category. And people who chose Starstruck mainly said that the threat didn't feel imminent enough, or that it was a little forced in order to explain why the Doctor was in Cloudsdale with wings in the My Little Pony series. Call Upon the Doctor wasn't the best for people who didn't like misunderstandings in stories, and since the whole episode is a big misunderstanding, you know, I get how that can be a bit bleh. Elementary is Magic was also understandably from people who weren't fans of Sherlock Holmes, though some said they enjoyed the story otherwise, which is cool. It's awesome. Sunset was said to go from point A to point B too quickly, and was easy to figure out how it would play out. Wrong Way Backwards confused some people, and the Isle of Laputa was just, you know, too sad. People didn't really have a reason for picking Terror, it was just what they thought of first when asked the question. On to favorite shorts. In Your Shoes and Domestics are practically devouring the other shorts. It's very clear who the winners are here, and they're definitely the first 2 episodes I think of when I think of shorts. In Your Shoes was great because it let us flex our acting skills. It was incredibly fun and challenging. It's time for favorite musical number. Sorry about that. I didn't warm up or anything, so that probably sounded bad. Anyway, my personal favorite made it to the top, so I feel great about that. Ready for War was a huge undertaking with all the voices it required, and it had such a powerful impression. Our first originally composed episode was Sunset by Bagpipe Brony, just adding that on there. This was the first episode where we had our composer Panoink, so we wanted to go big with the opportunity, and it was well worth it. Winter Wrap Up, of course, wasn't originally our song. We took My Little Pony songs, and put our own lyrics to it to suit the episode. But I'm glad people liked it. I've always enjoyed writing parodies of songs or alternate versions of songs. The Knights of Time and Space is a great song, but it wasn't actually made for Dr. Hooves' an assistant. It was made by Bagpipe Brony as a fan song, and we asked to use it in our series after we provided the voices for it. Terra's Teeth is like Winter Wrap Up in that it's not originally our song, but an alternate cover of The Towers of the Teeth from Return of the King animated movie. The Nightmare Moon villain song didn't score as high as I hoped it would, but I imagine that's because a lot of people still haven't really listened to the episode, thanks to YouTube's ineffective way of alerting people of our new videos. It's cute that someone mentioned the Ducky Boat song from the Isle of Laputa as their favorite, though. I didn't even think of that one as a musical number, but here we are. And now, The moment we've all been waiting for. The favorite ship! And I am blown away because somehow Derpy and TikTok managed to just barely outdo Derpy and the Doctor. I'd say that's a heck of a feat considering how diehard a lot of Dr. Derpy shippers are. I'm incredibly proud that TikTok is liked that much. But I was also pleasantly surprised to see that quite a number of poly shippers out there who think the trio are a perfect match for each other. It makes me proud to see so many people open to this, as I myself am polyamorous, and I 100% support a poly ship between the three. It's my personal favorite ship for the series, but what's my ship and what's canon may not be the same thing. I'd like to think that what is canon is that it's a viable possibility for them to be compatible as a trio ship. And I haven't exactly been subtle about that. But I've also kind of been hinting that, they could work as, like, Derpy and Doctor, or Derpy and TikTok. I'm not really making it so that, like, everyone has to choose, and everyone's getting a little bit of what they want, Anyway, as Derpy said in episode 13,
can't I have both?
Thank you all for answering the survey. It's valuable to me and everyone else on the team. I still have a lot to read through, but I thought it would be easier to go through by question than by person, and that's what allowed me to figure out these numbers. You're all fantastic, and we'll continue to try to release content for everyone for as long as we can manage. See you next episode in Sunnytown!